Hello everybody, Dizno here. Welcome back to another game. This is the best of three between Elodin and McMegan for round 2 of CALLOUS Cup. Again, both of these guys are 1-0 going into this game. They're both undefeated so far. The score in this series is 1-1 each, so they've both won a game, and this is the decider. This is the best of 3. This is the third game of the best of 3. Whoever wins this will go on into the winners bracket of round 3, and whoever loses this will go into the losers bracket of round 3. Actually, no, I think in round 3 there's no winners bracket, it's just the losers bracket, and then round 4 is where the winners take up again. So this is a pretty important match. This match significantly increases your chances of winning this tour, and if you lose, obviously, through the same criteria, will give you a pretty poor chance, or a much smaller chance of winning the tour. This is a very, very important match. I'm not saying you can't break out of the losers bracket and make a good run. I know Lanier did it in his first win, but it just becomes significantly more difficult if you lose this match. So hopefully both guys play to the best of their ability. Going to play this on slow and keep McMegan on the left and Elodin on the right for continuity purposes. So both guys leading Scarm here. Just kind of pause. McMegan's already led Scarm at least once. I think it's been once. Might even have been twice. No, it's been once, I think. And it's crazy because from what I can tell, from what I've heard from other people, and I think I kind of agree, Scarm's not the best lead ever. It's just it loses to a lot of the most common leads, or at least you're taking risks. Like if someone's leading Mixed Mans or Zapdos or Special Tar, you're just taking so much on turn 1. You have to kind of scout around a bit. You get an idea of the opponent's team before you can really get your Skarmory in my opinion. Or just try and get in on like a Rock Resist or something. Interesting that they both lead Skarm. They're both trying to get spikes up. When you see both guys lead Skarm, like the teams are trying to apply spikes and keep the pressure up. And if that's the case, it could be quite likely that this is a fast-paced game. This game could be pretty quick. Not too much spikes control, not too many answers to spikes, and more just about applying them. So this should be a cracker based on what I'm seeing so far. Elodin going to taunt McMegan's Skarm, so Elodin getting a very early advantage here. Going to spike here on the Zapdos. Megan obviously reveals the Zapdos now. He's going to go back to Skarmory, predicting maybe a Blissey of sorts. But again, when you see that, when you see the Skarm lead, you shouldn't really be scouting for Blissey, because it could be a spike stack team. Maybe he was predicting a Beer Lover type team, but it's a spike stack team. So you have to expect, or at least be aware of the fact that it could be a Jolteon there. So going back to Skarmory there, probably, I mean, it's not necessarily bad play, but definitely didn't have to do that, I suppose. Charizard's faster here. It's 328. I don't know if that Zap was timid, but either way, Charizard has stayed in here, and it's Elodin's happy to risk the speed tie. He doesn't think that that McMegan was happy to go back to Jolteon there. Well, we don't know if he does, but I think Elodin stayed in, banking on the chance that McMegan would not go for a T-Bolt there with Jolteon, and with the concept that he's obviously max speed Charizard as well. It would be a speed tie at worst. We're going to see Jolteon impair the +1 Suicune here, but again, Suicune's so hard to deal with, and Jolteon's not even a counter. Elodin's looking pretty dodgy versus it right now. Earthquake doing 25, and the opposing Surf is 3-hit KOing, almost 2-hit KOing. Is Metagross just going to stay in here, or does he boom? McMegan goes to Skarm, predicting maybe another Earthquake or boom, but either way, he takes the boom. He's going to go Gengar here on the opposing Gengar. Now, McMegan hasn't established any of his spikes, so his Gengar is going to be significantly less effective than you would think it would be. Ice Punch from Elodin's Gengar doing 37 and 35. And McMegan is slower, but he's returning more damage here, and he's actually able to get the KOs here if he needs to. Ice Punch going to come out, and wow, Elodin gets a higher roll. That's important. Megan says oof in the chat. Yeah, that's definitely a little bit lucky. I think that's probably a max roll Ice Punch based on what the other damage was. He was doing 35 as well. I'm going to HP Grass here on Kuhn. He's definitely going to appreciate that because, just because Kuhn was just absolute nightmare for McMegan's team before. But he is going to lose Gengar here, so it's now Charizard and Skarmory in the endgame. Not great endgame mons, I would say. Dugtrio comes in here, although that's also not a great endgame mon. Skarmory's just so obvious, so McMegan going to go out to his Porygon here. And what's interesting is McMegan's running the exact same team he was running in Game 2. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's going to pause. This is the team we just saw in Game 2. It was Porygon over Blissey type stuff as like a special resist, I guess, in some senses. Doesn't really resist special shit too much, but like, I guess that's kind of what you're putting there. Dougie to kind of come in on T-Balls and clean up stuff. It's super T-Ball week. I feel like it's super Zapdos week. Definitely running like T-Wave Zap and like Boom Gengar and stuff, maybe even D-Bon Gengar. Yeah, it's Boom Gengar, but like, team is really, really weak to Zapdos. Yeah, that's interesting. He's run the exact same team again, though. He seems to think that this team has a great matchup versus Elodin's type of teams. We will see. T-Bolt does come out from Porygon on the Skarmory spikes. So Elodin decided to throw up 3 layers there rather than Toxic. And so he doesn't have Toxic. He just wants to get the damage on Dougie. This is an important turn here. I thought he was going to go out to Charizard. So if he has Sub, does McMegan risk the T-Wave and just go for T-Bolt? Or if he doesn't have Sub, does Elodin refuse to, or like, doesn't have to not have Sub, I guess. If he doesn't decide to go for Sub, T-Bolt is probably putting him into Blaze range, and Fire Blast is going to definitely do a KO. If he does not have Sub, or if he does not use Sub, and Porygon goes for the T-Wave, this Charizard's going to be very, very impaired, and it's going to potentially allow McMegan to win. Now, alternatively, you could just sub down to your Blaze range and fire off a Fire Blast. I'm not sure how much that would do, or what your last is, and would it benefit from a low Porygon. But we'll see how this pans out. I'm interested to see how Elodin plays this. When he does just Fire Blast, does 52, so it's only doing half. And McMegan does T-Wave. That's very bad for Elodin. Porygon can just keep recovering all day long. Nazard's finally going to sub. I think that sub was better there turn 1 if you're going to do it. Your sub leftovers, so I mean the best you're ever going to get is Blaze versus this thing. Goes for a Focus Punch now. It's probably not doing that much more than Fire Blast. Yeah, it's actually doing less, is it? Yeah, it's doing less than Fire Blast. Just shows you how bulky Porygon is and how specially focused Charizard is. Zard's going to Fire Blast again. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's probably put an end to this one. Because it's unlikely that Rock Slide can just pick up the kill on the last Mon. Therefore, Elodin, it's probably a resist of some sort, maybe like a Starmie or something. Or even like a T-Tar. That's kind of wild. It's immense. I don't. It's not getting the kill. It's not doing half here, and yeah, Elodin just returns the Earthquake. It says GG. Sorry about the luck. I mean, it's not even that. Like, I don't know. Why wouldn't you just sub there? I don't get it. How much does Blaze Fire Blast do? It probably does a shit ton. Although I guess you still lose if, yeah. I guess he was hoping that McMegan would be forced to go for the T-Bolt there. It was kind of like a 50-50. But I think that if McMegan's always going for T-Wave there anyway, because he kind of benefits from, even if he sub, he still kind of benefits from it. So subbing there makes more sense to me. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Did he play wrong there with Charizard? Did Elodin play wrong? Was sub the better play turn 1 with Charizard, or not turn 1, but when he first came in versus that Porygon? I think it probably was. It was a much more obvious turn. But either way, Megan was definitely going to benefit from going for T-Wave. Anyway, of course the crit did come out. Megan does go down. He got caught using the same team. Both times he used that team, it went up against 3 layers of spikes. Worth noting. But that team was made, I guess, presumably to do well versus Elodin, because he's used it twice versus him. And judging by the matchup in this game, it actually looks like it does do pretty well. So Porygon for the Jolteon. Porygon also kind of walls Mence there, DD Mence. He's also got a Coon, which walls the Zard, kind of the Metagross, and also the Mence. You know, he's got a Skarm there as well, which kind of makes it tough for the Mence. Got a Zapdos for the Skarmory. You know, it is a good pick by McMegan, and it is a shame that Fire Blast had to crit, because you could be pretty sure that he would win if it didn't crit, I would say. You know, because T-Ball is 2 with KOing, and that Salamence has absolutely no way of beating McMegan if he's got, you know, Porygon there at the end. But either way, that's a very, very exciting game. That was really, really close all the way to the end there. I presume that Salamence set is just DD with all that special offense. It would make sense. I hope you all enjoy that series. 2 really, really high level players, and they just absolutely gave it everything. McMegan using some really, really cool teams, prepped really well, and Elodin also using some really cool teams like a Zard, Spikes team there with like Metagross and Salamence. That's a really, really nice looking team. Game before that he used Smeargle, so you can almost be happy about him winning just based on that. But obviously commiserations to McMegan there. He's going to go into the losers bracket, and it's a tough way to do that. Fire Blast crit, yeah, I probably wouldn't be happy if I was Roro, but you know, it is what it is. I hope you all enjoyed, and see you again in the next one.